I'd like to call this meeting to order. We'll have the invocation, the pledge of allegiance. Everybody stand, please. Maureen.
Rebellion against your handicaps gets you nowhere. Self-pity gets you nowhere. One must have the adventurous daring to accept oneself as a bundle of possibilities and undertake the most interesting game in the world, making the most of one's best. Harry Emerson Fosdick.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we, okay, we'd like to have a motion.
Talk into the mic, please. We can't hear you.
I'd like to have a motion to accept the approval of the minutes for July 24th and two meetings, the regular budget meeting and the regular council meeting, preliminary budget, excuse me. Do I have a motion to accept?
I'll move to accept those minutes as written.
I second.
Been moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
On the adoption of the agenda, I'm going to ask for a change.
You guys go one more.
No.
Okay.
On the adoption of the agenda, I'm changing items 13 and 12, flipping them around so that the public forum and then the executive session. I have a motion to
I move that
change.
motion.
Been moved. Second?
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Down to the mayor's remarks. Really, I don't have any earth-shaking remarks. I think that we're all here for a purpose. The purpose is for Sky Valley. Myself and this council are trying to do the best we can. So far we get a lot of good comments. We appreciate those. We have, and I just say that you're all welcome to email myself or any of the council with any problems, questions. If not, then make your calls into the city hall and everything will be taken care of as soon as possible if there's problem. Thank you. Council's remarks, we're going to start with you, Chip.
Just want to say good morning, welcome everybody.
I don't have any remarks other than, it is, I guess I do have a remark. It's nice to see the turnout that we have. It would be nice to see a turnout like this more frequently so that everybody knew what was going on as it's happening as opposed to a rumor mill or suppositions or guesses. Thank you for attending.
Good morning and thank you for your attendance. I'd like to see more attendance at our workshops where everybody hears the same thing at the same time and we can all really participate prior to any official council meeting and any official voting. Thank you for coming.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out, not only today, but I see a lot of folks who were at our workshop last Wednesday, so thanks for getting involved.
This city's report, please.
The only thing I have to report is that we will have a holiday on Monday, so garbage will be picked up on Tuesday, so just remember that, please. And also, if you have any questions, please call us at City Hall.
Okay, let me see here. We have a big water leak at City Hall. We've got 3 estimates. $5,348, $5,962, and $5,895. I'd like to have the council comment on that and decide to make a motion on which one they think they would like to have.
There were the 2 proposals. I don't have a copy of one. One of them was from Shane's Construction. And Ella, can you tell us who the other proposal was from?
Yes, sir. We had a proposal from Rayburn County Roofing. His was $5,348. The other one that we received was from Georgia Mountain Roofing, and his bid was $5,895. And like you said, Shane's was $5,962. The apparent low bidder is Rayburn County Roofing and Sheet Metal, and we also have proof of insurance with these contractors.
A question that I would have of the council is there any prior business that the city has had with any one of these companies?
They've had business with all 3.
So would they all be on the same level playing field?
I would say yes.
I then move that we accept the lowest bid.
Second.
Then moved and second that we take the lowest bid, which is Rayburn County Roofing. Have any more discussion on it? If not, I call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Look opposed? Motion carried. We have an old water tank. We have an old water tank that's been given to the city quite a few years ago. It's just been sitting in the back. It's on you take it around places that have a disaster to get water there. It hasn't been moved since they brought it in. And we had a request from the Boy Scout camp that they've got one area of their camp that doesn't have water. And so they was inquiring about it. I would like to have the council consider donating this water tank to troop number 40 of the Boy Scouts. I'll have a discussion on that, please.
I move that the city donate that water tank to the Boy Scouts.
I'll second that motion.
Been moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion's carried. We have one of our least, I don't know how to describe her, but If you need any help, you can call her. If you need a committee, you can call her. And right now, I'm calling on Helen Cliver to speak.
Maybe I'll look around and see who he's talking about. Good morning, everybody. I hate to turn my back to you, but that's the way it goes. Okay, this won't take long. On December the 21st, 1819, 200 years ago, Raven County was incorporated by the state of Georgia. Currently, as a member of the 2019 bicentennial celebration for Raven County, on that committee, I would like to ask the city to be involved in this celebration. Each section of the county is being asked to host a unique event in our area, which will recognize its beauty, draw both locals and outsiders to participate while celebrating our county's 200th birthday. As a member of the Centennial Committee, I am suggesting that we, our city, host a springtime wildflower hike, actually two separate hikes, both to be held on the same day, probably Saturday, May the 11th, when the early wildflowers are in bloom. The easier hike would be down Mud Creek Falls. The more difficult hike would be up Raven Bald. Georgia's second highest peak is right here in our backyard. We would have volunteers along the paths to designate the flowers that are along the way. I've shared these ideas a few weeks ago with Al Pointkowski and his wife Susie, who are both avid golfers. And maybe golfers, but I'm talking about hiking today. Councilman Pointkowski is eager to pursue this idea with support not only from the city, but hopefully from our other local entities, such as the POA, the Country Club, the Timeshare, and the Garden Club. I have not approached those groups yet because I wanted to make sure that we can actually do this event. Al is actually the one who suggested that we have an additional hike, the shorter hike along Mud Creek Falls, because there are a lot of people that like to hike, but either because of their health or their elevation challenges, the easier hike along Mud Creek Falls Creek would be easier for them, but yet it would attract them to the area. The cost would be minimal. The expenses would include signage, advertising posters, registration forms, event visors, and a cookout at the city pavilion. Those are just the ideas to this point. Al and Susie have lots of hiking contacts, and he feels that we could get many of the various organizations to help provide local volunteers as well as guide people along the hiking paths. So I'm here today for two reasons: to make you aware that our city has been requested to participate in the 200th celebration of our county, and to request some financial support toward financing our efforts. Thank you for listening, and I would thank the council if they could add $500 to $1,000 to the budget for next year for this proposed event. Any questions? Yes, question?
Wouldn't this be a great opportunity for a joint marketing campaign to work this out?
That's what I'm hoping for. I think it would be great, because Raven Bald in itself draws people here. But if we can be the core and have people come here for lunch afterwards, then I think it would add to our communication and our publicity. Yes?
Ellen, could you add hats along with visors? Because a lot of us don't wear visors, but we wear hats. And my wife would wear a visor, but she won't wear a hat.
That is something to take into consideration.
Thank you.
I think the visors are a lot easier because you don't have to worry about sizes, and they're a little bit cheaper. So that was the reasoning behind that. This is just a proposal. So that would definitely be taken under consideration. I did want to fill the t-shirts because t-shirts are a mess to try to order for people that you don't know who's going to end up buying them. So,
County
right. And they're all over the county. I think it's very exciting, the things that are proposed. Like Mountain City wants to reopen the old barn where they used to have the square dancing years ago. And Tiger wants to do something at the drive-in. And Tallulah Falls wants to do something. So all around the county, the various towns are being involved. And so I just am here to ask you to participate with us. And hopefully we can get it funded, because it wouldn't take that much money. It would take more volunteers than money actually. So that's my proposal. And I apologize for not getting this to you before you had your budget committee, but I didn't know exactly what my part was going to be.
Helen, I have
Thank you very
a
much.
question. Since we last spoke, and just to reiterate, I am in favor of this proposal. I think it's a great idea. I think that it's, what I'm hearing is that we need marketing, and this is a form of marketing. Granted, it'll probably be more confined to the county, but we don't know who else is around who will hear about it, or how the Clayton Tribune writes it up, and what things along those lines happen. The question I have since we last spoke, and I know it's premature, but is the county, has the county been approached about also contributing funds to offset this for a county bicentennial celebration? Do you know that?
There are a lot of things in the mix, and Laura is the chairperson for the development. Tourism development, I still call it CDB, because that's what it was when I was on it, but, yeah. So, Laura, you might answer that. Laura.
This whole request has come from the commissioners, and they've asked the TDA to handle it. We put together a committee of people from all the different cities and doing exactly what Helen is doing, asking them to participate. My understanding is that council has not yet voted to the amount of funding they are going to give us. I understand they are giving us funding. So that is my understanding. I believe their meeting is tonight or this afternoon. And as far as marketing goes, it will be something that the Tourism Development Authority markets, and we have an email distribution list of close to 26,000 people. Facebook with probably right at 18,000 now. So this Sky Valley event will be mentioned in that.
Thanks, Laura.
Thank you. Well, Helen, I want to thank you, and from the city, we have appointed Al Poindowski as our representative, and so you go through him for anything in the city except money.
But we have very generous people in Sky Valley, and if we need to, we can
Well,
always.
I know Al and I can work together, so we'll do it.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, does that include Alan being the chairman of the committee that you will call and form for this event?
What was that?
Mayor, you have the power to form committees for the city. I'm asking, have you appointed Alan as the chairman of the committee so he gets some help to staff this committee to proceed with this event, which I think is a very, very good idea.
Well, I think you just talked with Al, and all this will come together, and I'm sure your suggestions already in the works with his mind right now. Thank you. Is Raymond Watts here? Ryan Rock. There he is. Natural resources, gentlemen. Whoop, got help today?
Big now. So I'll speak to y'all and y'all at the same time. What I just give the mayor here is a few city ordinances that have been passed in other cities, Colorado and other places. Last month at the city council meeting, I had said that I'd like to work with y'all about a city ordinance about feeding bears, just because the bear problem has got so bad in Sky Valley. I've been here since May dealing with it. And in my opinion, a long-term solution to fix the problem would be a city ordinance related to concentrated barriers, et cetera, et cetera. So I handed them several examples, even an outline of how you might write one up, little details about it, because it had to be very detailed. And just get their opinion on it. And also, a lot of y'all haven't been here for a few city council meetings, and just try to inform you on what's been going on. I come in May for the first time, set several traps, caught several bears, I think 4 bears now. They were entering homes, doing a lot of damage to homes, very dangerous situations. They could come into the home, and homeowner could walk in and not know it, and it's a bad situation. So that's why I came in the first place. I've been here since May, trying to help with the bear situation. And DNR's been coming up here. Stacy, you come up here 3 or 4 years ago. This is Stacy Farmer, by the way. He's my Step 3. But anyway, hold it more so I get tired. But so the bears were acting unlike wild bears, and they were very food conditioned and everything. So we trapped several bears, got most of the problem bears away, caught 3, and just so y'all know, every bear that was captured in Sky Valley was relocated and moved and recaptured at different areas, because they did the exact same thing they were doing in Sky Valley. That's how bad the problem was. So
Tell them right how we keep up with that, with tagging them.
yeah, we tag them, we put ear tags in them, we tattoo their lips. There's no mistaking these bears. We're not looking at a scar on the side of their head and saying, oh, that's it. We put them to sleep and tag them, and then they wake up and we release them. So we know for sure that 2 bears have come back. One of them come back to Sky Valley. It was turned out, I think it was 38 miles away, and it came back to Sky Valley in 10 days. It started doing the same things again. Another one was released towards Hiawassee, in between Hiawassee and Helen, and it ended up on Lake Burton and broke into several homes and had some pretty serious issues with it with another homeowner on Lake Burton. She walked in it with a bear in her house, and it wouldn't leave, and it was pretty scary for her. So the long-term effects, I don't take them out of Sky Valley and they get turned out somewhere else and everything's fine and dandy. They were so bad up here that they call them again and move them again, and they'll show back up. So long-term solution is for something to change in Sky Valley. It's got to, because we've been coming up here for years and years and getting non-compliance from people, bird feeders and everything, and they like seeing the bears, which is understandable, but they don't understand bears. So if we can't do something about it, we can't come up here every year. We have lots of other things to do. We're busy. We're understaffed for the most part. We could use about 5 more people, but we do the best we can. But I can't come up to Sky Valley 2, 3, 4, 5 days a week all through the summer when I have 1,000 other things I have to be doing. And also our policy says that if there are attractants around, we're not supposed to set a trap, we're not supposed to do anything with bears until that problem is rectified, because 99% of the problem is the attractants. So something has to be done about feeding the bears, bird feeders, allowing bears non-natural foods. Something has to be done. A city ordinance, in my opinion, would be the best thing to do. And I said it last month, and I'll say it again. That's going to be the long-term solution for Sky Valley, because some people just don't want to abide by what we say. You can do all the education in the world, and sometimes it just doesn't work. So I caught a bear. Here's a good example of why something needs to change. I've trapped several bears up here, got rid of it. It was super quiet. Nobody saw any bears. No home break-ins for about a month, I guess. It's pretty good while. And then all of a sudden, a couple weeks ago, a bear showed up, ended up breaking into a house, come into a house. That's not a natural thing for a bear to do. Come into a house. It started off with trash up here on Fairway, a few little deals of trash, and then it kind of escalated all the way to getting into a home. Well, I thought it might be a bear to come back. Well, this bear, you know, we've had our thumb on the bear population pretty good, and we've got it down to individual bears. And this bear I had never seen before, had no interaction with it. It was a completely new bear. And he came in Sky Valley, and in just a matter of a couple of weeks, he was entering a home to get food. So that's why something has to change, because it's going to be like that every year. And we can't come up here and deal with that every single year. You know, you got to get through the problem. Trapping bears is not the solution. So just, I'd like to get a few opinions and see what the council has to say about it, and just get an idea whether or not, you know, this might move forward or not, because if not, there's not much more we can do. I mean, we've done all we can do, and we've done more than we should have done, honestly. So, get some opinions from council members if y'all look
Right.
over some of that.
Ryan, I have a question.
Yeah.
What does DNR call a bear who is not afraid of humans? What's the term that they use? I understand it's a nuisance bear, is that correct?
It's a conditioned bear. It's a
conditioned bear?
Food or human conditioned bear. So
Okay.
a food conditioned bear is dangerous bears. They associate people with food. They smell somebody in the house, and then they smell food, and then they get fed. So they're conditioned to associate people with food, and that's the dangerous bears.
Okay, and if you extrapolate from that position down the road, the ultimate worst-case scenario is that a person, an individual, a human being could be attacked by one of these bears.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, I just wanted people to understand that, and I know that there are people that feel we shouldn't do certain things, but DNR has a standard operating procedure or suggestive ideas on how to handle things. And is it in conjunction with the nation as far as different areas and different bears and different types of things that you're making your decisions on how to handle a bear of this nature?
Yeah, we do the same thing for the most part that they do with grizzly bears in Alaska. Me and Stacy just got back from a international bear convention in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, where there are people all the way from India and Alaska and California, everywhere. And for the most part, everybody does the same thing. But what's changing now is there's a lot more bears, and there's a lot more people, and they're having to do different things like city ordinances because people don't listen a lot of times. And it takes a fine for them to change their habits.
Are bears, I don't know if I'm using the right term, but are they territorial in the sense that if you relocate them, at what point, how far away do you need to relocate them before they'll come back to where you originally scooped them up?
It's an individual basis. Some of them we take off and they stay there the rest of their lives. A lot of them, though, they try to come back. You can take them, you can spin them around, you can drive around the entire state and drop them off. They pretty much know how to get back home.
And once a bear is conditioned, can you break that conditioning?
It's hard. You can in the early stages, but I mean that's why I'm here. That's why I'm hoping y'all will do that, because number one, the biggest deal here. Number one, I'm trying to keep people from getting hurt. That's the most important thing. I don't want anybody to get hurt. Number two, I'm trying to protect the bears. I don't want them to get killed, because if it gets bad enough, euthanasia, killing the bears is one of our options for management. And that's what we're trying to avoid here. We don't want to have to come up here and kill every bear, because it might get, if you have a bear attack, that's what happens. We have to come in and kill bears. That's what we're trying to avoid here.
What's the feedback that DNR has received from across the country or even just in Georgia on ordinances and the effect of ordinances?
The state of Georgia, we don't know. There's none in the state of Georgia. There's not a city ordinance in the state of Georgia. There's a lot of cities that need them. There's some neighborhoods like Bicknell, I think they thought about working on an ordinance maybe or something like that, or a homeowner association. But in the state of Georgia, there's none. But all across the U.S., some of these places where bears have been around for a longer time, Colorado, for example, about every city in Colorado has a bear ordinance. So they have to.
And to your knowledge, are those ordinances strictly enforced? And if they are, do they work?
They have to be strictly enforced to work. In all my research that I've done in these bear ordinances, they have to be enforced very strictly at work.
I think we should, move forward. We've been looking into some of it. We've contacted the city of Gatlinburg. They've got some things in place concerning garbage containers, what's allowable and what's not, where those have to be kept. And we support what you guys are doing 100%. And I want to, I'm for the city getting on board to do what we have to do to keep these bears. We're putting the bears in a spot right now, they don't know any better, and they're ending up getting trapped, they're getting tagged, and then when they come back after they're tagged, they're put down permanently. So if we can avoid that and help them stick to the apples and blueberries that are growing, I think it'd be a good idea. Thank you for coming.
No problem.
And thank you for coming. And I think that we, as a council, needs to make this a much higher priority on our agenda for this. Keep it there until we have an ordinance. And ask Mr. Mayor to consider that and make sure that we keep it before us and our citizens.
So
And talk about it in our workshops and improve.
the thing is, here in just a couple of weeks, your birds are gonna get real quiet. We're not gonna hear from any more. You don't really have any birds right now because they're all trapped and gone.
But they will most
But
likely.
they will, it'll be quiet all winter, but then you think, well, we solved it, we'll forget about the city ordinance and everything, and then come May next year, you'll be right back to square one, and then you call us and we say, well, sorry, we told you you should pass the city ordinance, there's bird feeders everywhere, how much we can do now.
That's why I'm saying we need to do it now, because the problem is now, and we must address it now, or we get way back and we'll have the same problem next year.
Brian, could you, I'd like to have you turn around. Does anybody in the audience have questions they'd like to ask him?
It seems like what's changed this year, it seems like we have an awful lot of incidents compared to before the past. Some railroad ties on the house, for lack of food, that money matters. What's going on?
It's a combination of several things. Our bear population has exploded, and I mean exploded even in the last 2 or 3 years. I'm not seeing any sows with less than 2 cubs now. We just have a lot of bears there. And, last year, the food wasn't great, but the biggest thing that's changing is they're expanding their range. There's more bears in the woods, so they're pushing into these, developed places now, and they're getting used to people. That's the biggest thing, it's just a lot more bears now, so you have to adapt to that.
Is there it sounds like they're getting everywhere, they're populating everywhere, it's just like the deer. Is there any thoughts on, or do they have a hunting season that helps?
They do have a hunting season, yeah, there's been a bear hunting season for years and years and years now. But, just the biology of all the bears and everything, their population exploded. Hunting bears is really hard. It does control the population to a certain point, during certain circumstances, but when you have as much food as bears have had and the good habitat that they've had, and as many as there are, they're going to continue to expand.
Would you stress that it's not good to put bird feed out in the daytime, at no times?
That's the thing about bird feeders is, even if you have them out there in the daytime, and honestly, I think this last bear I caught was the only bear I haven't caught. Well, this one was the first one I caught at night. The other ones have all been in daylight. So, yeah, they're not nocturnal. They even move all the time of day, and especially when they get used to food, they're still going to. And bird seed, you put out there in the daytime and birds feed on it, and they drop it all off on the ground. It's just like having a bird feeder out. There's no difference.
Does this apply to hummingbird feeders also?
Yes, it would, because when they don't have bird seed is the number one thing they want to eat. Around houses, garbage and bird seed, things like that. But if they don't have that, hummingbird feeders is where it is. Y'all have so many bird feeders out up here that grain feeders, bird feeders, that they have to hit hummingbird feeders. But if they run out of food and bird feeders, that's what we're going to get next.
When do you want that to kill them?
September 8th to January 13th, something like that. On Chattanooga National Forest, it's going to be September 8th, December 26th this year.
Do it in the front yard.
Yeah, legally, as long as you follow all the state laws and legal, you know, use the correct weapon, you have a hunt license, you tag it correctly, you call us, get us to tag it, nothing wrong with it. Yeah, well, and your state and city and county laws too. Sky Valley probably has an ordinance about shooting, I don't know, I'm not gonna get that.
Is a dog in the current there?
Yeah. About 10 flock hounds is a deterrent bears. A little Yorkie not really a deterrent bear.
Would you give us an update on what's going on with hog population?
So we killed a bunch of hogs up here. So we had them all monitored. We knew how many there were. Killed all of them that we could. We're out of here. DNR's out of here now. You know, there's going to be hogs back here, but we got the population from up here down here now. So killed a lot of hogs. Hopefully there'll just be some single hogs come in, maybe a group or 2 or 3. That's something that y'all can maintain on your own.
Hey, Brian, did you, I wasn't clear earlier, did you state that if a city doesn't cooperate with DNR, specifically for ordinances to curb bear activity in the initial stages, that DNR will not continue to come up and take care of it, in this case, Sky Valley?
Well, from now on, I'm not going to say we've been out of policy, but we haven't, due to what I saw when I came up here, I felt like the safety of some citizens were threatened. I did trap, but I was trapping at a house that had a bird feeder right across the road, and I was, we go to the next house and said trap there, and there's a bird feeder in the yard, and, that's animal policy. So, I feel like citizens of Sky Valley are safer now, because we got rid of some pretty bad bears and moved them on. But next year, I'll be following policy.
I just wanted everybody, because there's such a large crowd, to be aware of that the initial responsibility falls on each and every one of us. It's not that, well, we got a problem, somebody come in and take care of it. We have to be responsible in the first instance. Otherwise, their policy is going to be that I got 1,000 other things to do, and I'm going someplace else.
It doesn't fit our policy. If there's attractants in the area, and it don't matter if it's your neighbor's house. If there's attractants in the area, that's the problem. Bear's not the problem. The attractants are the problem. So that's our policy, and we'll be following it here on.
Right. Just in the event that there might be a council person that is not aware of the problem that's had up in our cul-de-sac, I think probably most of you are. It has got to the point where, it had become a serious threat and it's very dangerous. I think most of you also are aware that I've had a sick wife that is rehabilitated, Washington walker assisted, and is trying to rehab using a walker. That's how she gets rid of it anyway. The point is, we have a perfect place for her to get out of the walk in our cul-de-sac. And when we have probably a 200-300 pound bear show up on our sidewalk at 9:30 on a Saturday morning, or another pretty large bear trying to get into my neighbor's garage, he's up climbing and hauling and beating at 3 in the afternoon, or my other one neighbor coming up to her window right there at the dining room window, going nose to nose and slapping on the window. We can't get out there and utilize that area if we I used to think that, you know, it's cute, it's fun to see them and so forth. But I will tell you, I've gotten to the point where my wife's safety, my neighbor's safety, my safety trumps seeing a cute bear. And I'm tired of it. And if there's anything that can be done to alleviate that, you know, they found food long before we were here. I know birds are, it's wonderful. But I just want to share my, there won't be any misunderstanding about my thinking for anybody on the council as you consider whether or not you take any actions. Thank you.
The thing with the allow situation, you know, everybody wants to see bears. I think that's part of the draw of Sky Valley, I guess, seeing bears. And you do this ordinance, and it's not that you're not going to ever see bears. You'll be able to walk out in his yard and in that cul-de-sac and walk around without fear of a bear being food conditioned. That's the whole issue here. A bear, you know, you don't have to be 600 pounds. A wild bear is enough to be afraid of. You know, they're not there harmless. They'll run for you faster than you could ever run for them. But when we get this food conditioning and they're used to coming around the houses and getting food and associating people with food like has been happening in the past, that's when you have to worry a little bit.
Can you tell us where you had a bear problem? Just because you see a bear, I mean, we saw a bear walk down the street, didn't bother anybody, so did Saucy in the woods. Just because you see a bear, that doesn't mean it's a bear problem. I personally believe the bear problem is where people were actually feeding the bears. And people think it's cute to feed the bears and see them come out. They put out corn for them. I know one person had food for their doggy bowls. Oh, they would know the difference. But for the most of everybody I talk to in Sky Valley, most of us, we don't have a quote bear problem. It's in one section. And I think that the city council should, if they're going to look at putting a law together, you need to look at law, one, that you can enforce, that people are going to abide by, and two, you need to enforce all laws. I don't believe it happens. I shared it at a previous meeting. And I don't think the whole city should be told, you can't have a bird feeder out in the daytime because of bear problem, that's in one part of the mountain. That's just my thoughts. Thank you.
So that, most of these ordinances, when you research them, you talk to the city governments that have enacted these ordinances, they have said that they have had to enact these ordinances because of a handful of people, 2 or 3 people. So they have to punish the whole because of a couple of bad apples. So in the bird feeder, you know, even if people stop feeding them, even if you have a bird feeder out, it's still going to attract bears. That's the whole problem. You're not going to have bears on your back deck. You're not going to have birds walking up and down the driveway. You don't have bird feeder out. If there's no food there for that bear, you just not going to have them. You'll see them, they might cross the road in front of you, and you're like, look at that bear. That's the way it should be. You know, you see a bear here and there, every now and then, in their natural environment, acting like a bear should. So that's what I'm trying to get here in Sky Valley.
Do you have any idea of how long you have to make a city or an area bird feeder free or food free before the bears give up on coming in? Is there any kind of time?
It's pretty quick. It'll be pretty quick, especially right now. It gets enacted right now because all your bears are gone. I've taken all your bears and relocated them. So you don't have any bears right now. You don't have any resident bears right now like you did have. So right now would be a really fast response. And you'll have more bears come in. And other bears are going to come off the wildlife management area, national forest, and come in. And they're not going to find any food. And they're going to go right through Sky Valley and keep on going and move on and act like a wild bear.
So if we had no bird feeders this winter, no bird feeders in the spring, the bears would travel through.
That's correct. Yeah, they don't have any food. They're going to move and find food.
They're going to keep on moving.
That's right.
Down the tight.
Yeah, the late bird, apparently.
When I first built my house, I was standing outside, air water out of the woods, and I had that bird was on out of the woods. I started on the porch. We went off to the woods. This year, everything that you do now, I did the other day. Any kind of food you have, they're going to have. Very cautious. Said, that's what they care about. You just think, follow out, in the house, it's kind of
And the thing with that too, like a railroad tie deal, that's just a natural food for the bear. You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
no, it's just a matter of that's how strong they are.
You live in the woods, you know, Sky Valley is in, you know, you border all this Forest Service land and Boyle and Mary and all this, and you're gonna have wildlife, you're gonna have bears, you're gonna have hogs, you're gonna have turkeys and deer too. That's just part of it, but having a safe bear around, a wild bear, is what we're shooting for here.
And also, I want to just say, you know, the food conditioned bear is what we're trying to stop. And Ryan has done more than his part. I mean, I think you guys are very blessed, and very lucky to have Ryan close to you. He's done a lot of work up here. He's spent many hours that in policy he did not have to, but I think he's treated you guys well, and he's done a lot of research on all this as far as the ordinance and how we can look and the bird feeder, that and the trash are probably, I'm just stressing what he is saying from a different person, is probably the biggest issue we're having. And not saying that, you know, you can't have a bird feeder during the winter or something, maybe from November to February, when the birds actually need maybe a little bit of help and supplement food. So just be very diligent, and if you can, educate, do you live by your neighbors, and help us help you basically. And Ryan's done a fantastic job up here. I'm lucky to have him as a work partner, and I just want to say thank you for, you know, listening to us today, and I hope we can deal with this and deal with bear issues. But thank you, and I'll turn it back over to Ryan.
Can you tell us where you have practiced there so that we know if one of them, if our neighborhood is in jeopardy?
Yeah, Florida Lane, Knob, pretty much all over Sky Valley. And I'll give you, I wasn't gonna say that today, but I'll give an example of kind of the, you know, I think that 99% of Sky Valley is likes the bears and wants to help us help the bears. But where I caught in a trap on Sunday, broke into a house, I said something about it. And when I got there to pick the bear up, I had a note on the trap. I had some rougher words in it, you know, a personal attack on me. And that's nothing new. That's nothing new. It happens all the time. But that kind of gives you an idea. You know, everybody sitting here might support this bear thing, but there's somebody out there who does it. And even if you do it, they're going to keep feeding bears, and they're going to get fined. And it's going. That's the way you solve the problem. You know, no education can work with somebody who will leave a note, a personal attack note on bear traps. All right, looks like we're good.
Now we'll open it for the public forum and general comments. And please stand and state your name, and so that we'll all know who you are. Well, You have 3 minutes, you better hurry.
Go to the mic, number one.
I'm Steve Brett. I'm a former mayor of Sky Valley, and I was fortunate enough to be the first mayor to work with Linda Lapras, which is going to be the issue that's going to be discussed today, I do believe, in the session. When I first started working with Linda, of course, she knew a bit about city government because she had been the city clerk, and then she got elevated to city manager. And I've never, ever been involved with somebody that is as bright as Linda Lapras. She so quickly caught on to all the ins and outs of government, which is so different than private business, such as accounting procedures and everything else. And the other thing is that she was so good to work with. There are 3 living mayors that have worked with her. And I know all 3 of us have the same feeling about working with Linda. We could not have succeeded in our job. Our jobs would have been very difficult without her. And City Council, I hope that you take this into consideration. You have 17 years of experience, and you're going to take that and throw that down the drain. That's not right, fellas. You have somebody that is noted throughout the state as one of the finest city managers that is in the state of Georgia. And I hope you'll take that into consideration and let her continue to do the great job that she's doing. And thank you so much, and let's get it right, guys.
Thank you. Any other questions? If not, then I'll make a motion to go into executive session. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion been made, second?
Second motion.
All in favor? All right, we're going into executive session now.
Mr. Mayor, I move we go back into regular session.
Second motion.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carried.
I'd like to make a motion that under sections 1 and 9 of the city's employment agreement with Linda Lapras, that the city ought to terminate without cause the service of Linda Lapras and will pay full severance pay per sections 10 and 5.
I second the motion.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, call for a vote. All in favor of termination, say aye.
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 Motion's been carried. I'd like to have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a motion, meeting is adjourned.
May I speak, please?
Anytime you want. Adjourn.
I know you're older now.